Shalom. Can you hear me? Shalom. Can you hear me? Oh, great, 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 great. Okay. I do my shaloms to everyone. All right, shalom, Sister Robin. Oh, all right, shalom, Robin, Abigail, Malika, Nisa Yabeth, Israel. Shalom, Sister Isla, R. Scott, Shakar, shalom, Shakar Ganu. We're still praying for you and your family. S. Mocha, shalom. Malika Rakam, shalom. How you doing? Let's see here. Uh, Al, I think that's Elder Alia, or Sister Alia. Yahoo. Yahia. Hanuk. Shalom, son. How you doing? Mahalia. Shalom. Sister Isla. Shalom. How you doing? Yehudith. Zion. Shalom, daughter. How you doing? Malakia. Malachiah. Shalom. Uriel. Bafia. Shalom. Imam Marsha Skinner, shalom. Nalia Harris, shalom. Elisheba, shalom, shalom. I think that's one of us. Brother Ivan, shalom. Uriel, shalom. Daryl, shalom. Tafila, shalom. Angela, shalom. Shakal, shalom. Victor, shalom. Monique, shalom. Seelan, shalom. KK, shalom. Jeanette, shalom. Sister Maora, shalom. How you doing? There we go, finally. Get something going while family shalom. Shalom, Victor, Oro, shalom, Monique, shalom, Cielen, shalom, KK, shalom, Uriel, shalom, Jeanette Whitaker, shalom, Elisheba, shalom, how you doing? Shalom, Emet, Yanak, hallelujah, shalom, how you doing, Ima? Shalom, Rashia, Tampa, TA, Sonia Washington, Abed, Shamika, Richard, Cecilia, Nabiya, Shalom, Ebony Nicholson, Shalom, Samakia, Shalom. Cliff, Shalom. Child of the Most High, Shalom. Shalom. Hope everybody doing well. This Boker. That thing going hard. Hallelujah. If you haven't went out there and got that Cotis album, please go get that. It's one of the songs on there. All the songs on there is fire. Go check that out. Get that. Hope everybody had a powerful Shabbat. Hope all been well. Just to let you know, the reason that some Sundays I've been missing is because this summer we've been going to the different assemblies and letting Yahuwah allow us to set order and show them what we're going forward. And so some of the things on there, some Sundays I'm going to miss. It's mainly going to be the fourth Sunday that I miss, or if I have something else going on. That like 2 times that in this month already I had to fly out. So usually when I fly out, I'm not able to do the Sunday calls. But I will start corresponding with some of the other Morays that's not with me. If I can't do it, then one of them will be able to come on so we can at least have it going and continue, so you can kind of get that shot in your arm for the rest of the week. Well, let me not say that. I don't want nobody to soundbite this and take it to something else. They give you that drive, give you that strength, even greater, along with what you received on Shabbat, to be able to move forward and do the things that Yahuwah is trying to establish through you. Hallelujah. So praise Yahuwah, for all the things that He's doing in the midst of us. Also, you won't see as many. I know you might have been looking at some of the Augusta lives that we run during the week, and you don't see me teaching. Some of these messages that Yahuwah has given me is mainly for the people that's in the assemblies. And we will be able to send a link to some of the partners, some of the ones that really been supporting for a while, be able to have this, be able to go on. But Yahuwah had told me to pull down these messages and let it not be for public consumption. And this ain't even just people that just don't watch our stuff, but people that watch our stuff, but just people where anybody can come in and get the blueprint and the things that Yahuwah is establishing in us as we build this nation. It's truly a rebirth of a nation, Hebrew nation building. We actually building on a whole nother level now, springboarding from Aruka. And Yahuwah has given us specific things concerning the eternal excellency and what He desires us to do with those things. And that stuff He don't want just up on YouTube where anybody can come in and look at it and grab it and critique it or try to take from it. So that's a part of concealment that we're going to be moving in. What I will do is some of the things that I think that I have talked about in a message that needs to be up for public consumption, I will reiterate it on these Sundays unless you are leaving something different. And that's what I'm going to end up doing today. I'm going to speak on true revelatory visions and how to interpret dreams and visions and what that look like and how to enhance your ability to see. I talked about that a little bit on Shabbat. Now I say this all the time. I don't have the gift of dream interpretation. Now, Yahuwah didn't put enough wisdom in me and revelatory understanding that I can decipher. I can interpret, but that's more of, like I say, between the two, that's more of Chief Yahusha's gift, man. All you gotta do is say it, and he da 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 da. He let you know what everything means, man. It's a powerful gift on his life when it comes to that overall. But I'm gonna lay out some principles that you can have, so you don't have to go outside yourself too much to interpret what Yahuwah is showing you and what he's trying to get you to see. So we're gonna definitely talk about that today. Hallelujah. Let me just open up with a quick prayer, and then pull this information up of what I taught on, and then we're gonna go over that. Get down to it. Now you are gonna need like a pen and paper or whatever, because I can't put it up where you can see it right now. That'll take a lot of extra work right now that I ain't got time to do that. But you can hear me and then go back and look at the video and just write down what you need to write down, so you can have that. Yeah, I was gonna say I can come back and do this through. Well, you can, but we gonna just write down. Just go back, and I speak slowly, and you write it down. You'll get it. You'll get it. All right. Try to get your pen. If you don't got time, go get a pen and paper, and you'll be able to get it. Hallelujah. Let me open up in prayer. Yahuwah, we just thank you. We magnify your name. We glorify you, who you are. We know from you all blessings flow down to your children. For you have given us the children's bread and deliverance and healing to set us free and establish us as a people that's called by your name, a people that has been atoned for and restored back to the promise that you gave to our forefathers. I ask that everybody on here be able to receive from what you have given us and be able to enhance their spiritual life with you. Let your will and your kabod be magnified in the things that you have us establish. Let the listening ear be open to hear. Let the seeing eyes be open to see. Activate their spiritual senses. In the name of Yahushua, hallelujah. Let me say this before I get started. I just say this. Let's make sure that we making our mind up about this walk. Not going to and fro. But really, like, if we gonna live the life of a redeemed son and daughter, let's be serious about it. Let's not be a false light. Let's quit doing a lot of talking and do. Yahuwah don't need all your words in this season. He need action. Let's be who we said we are. Let's take away every excuse that we have had, that's become a crutch to us. And let's do this thing for real. All right, let's go through this. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have. Okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm still sitting. Now, I want us to go real quick. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 5, verse 14. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 14. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 14. And if you dare, it reads, "But strong meat belong to those that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil." Hold on, before I go there, let me read verse 13. Let's go to verse 13, then I'm gonna come read that back down. I want us to get this verse. That's fine. Let's go to verse 8, Hebrews 5 and 8. Though he were a son, yet learned obedience through what he suffered. And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that would obey him, all them that would be submitted unto him. Right? So submission and suffering is what brings perfection. Called of Yahuwah and high priest after the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say, hard to be uttered, seeing all are dull of hearing. For when the time comes, ye ought to be teachers. You have need that one teach you again. Now, what is he saying? You done learned so much. And I'm just talking about rebirth as a whole now. You done learned so much now, you should be on a level of teachers. That's how much wisdom, knowledge, and revelation that has been sent out in the last 5 years. But he says, verse 12, for the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, because it didn't rest in your soul. You didn't value it. You didn't take it to internalize it to produce fruit from it. You still as if when you first came in touch with this ministry 3, 4, 5, 2 years ago, because you came with ambition. You came to be seen. You came because something seemed like it was booming. It seemed like it was energetic. It seemed like it was the new thing. And now you had to work through all that, gut you, and you didn't heard all of this. And now is when you should be teaching, you got to be taught again, because you're starting back from scratch. Which be the first principles of the oracle of Yahuwah, and are become such that have need of milk and strong meat. Ain't that amazing that you've been with us so long that you still need milk? Still ain't ready to chew strong meat yet. Still getting mad at the drop of a hat. Still got tissue paper feelings, crying about everything. Still hurt about the smallest stuff. Still condemned every week. Somebody got to pull you out of condemnation. And that's a sign of inverted pride. attention seeking, confessing every week with no true repentance. You should be on meat. But you have to learn the principles again, because now you done got to a place where you finally get it. And now you're a babe. 3-4 years with us and a babe again. Because you had to work through all of that to get you to where you are. Because we thought we can play with them. Verse 12, be the first principles of the oracles of you, and are become such that have need of milk. Some of us really think we're further than what we are. But you're in need of milk. You babies in your emotional stability. Babies. In your ability to even build relationship with brothers and sisters in your tribe. Babies when it comes to submission of authority. Babies when it comes to following orders. And you need a milk and not strong meat. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness. That's not the word of being able to study, because anybody can study. Anybody can go and put a PowerPoint together based off historical information and put scriptures that line up with it. That don't take righteousness to do that. But unskillful in the word of righteousness. That's taking the word and allow a righteous fruit to be birthed out of you, that you live, that you walk, that is seen. You're not a tree that ain't got no fruit, but you telling everybody that, hey, I'm a banana tree. I'm a banana tree, but ain't no fruit of bananas on you. But you are unskillful in the word of righteousness, for ye are a babe. So we don't like that kind of talk. We feel like we're smart. We feel like our gift can be used, but you're a baby. But watch this. But strong meat belong to them that are of full age, those that have come to the maturity of sonship. They're no longer babies no more. They're not adolescents. But they didn't came to the fullness of what sonship is. What it means to be a son and a daughter of the house. Have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Now, there are spiritual senses that you have that has to be that you can exercise that connect you to the spirit realm. First, we're going to deal with consciousness, right? And let's look up the definition of consciousness. I'm going to say it slow so you can get it. Consciousness is the state. Now, there's a consciousness on 3 levels. Spiritual consciousness, self-consciousness, and this natural realm consciousness. Spirit conscious, self-conscious, and the natural realm that you live in, that you use your seeing, your hearing, your smelling, your taste, and your touching, is how you connect to this natural realm consciousness. But we want to deal with the Ruacho realm consciousness, right? Let's just deal with consciousness first to get the definition. Consciousness is the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. Awake and aware of one's surroundings. Part 2, the awareness or perception of something by a person. The awareness or perception of something by a person. Three, the fact of awareness by the mind of itself, whether internal or external. Going back to the main one, this is all you need to write down. The state of being awakened or aware to one's surroundings. Now, in the spirit realm, right? We're going to just deal with spirit realm. Do you have a consciousness of or awareness to your surroundings in the spirit realm? Do you have the ability to see? Ruachly. Have your spiritual ear been open to hear what the Ruach is saying? Can you smell the incense and the scent of the spirit realm? When the aroma of the right offering that been released to Yahuwah and he has accepted the offering. Can you taste of Yahuwah's goodness? Do you know how to touch him in a place that his glory will begin to rest and fall upon you? Our ability to see. That's why the scripture talks about strong meat, because you need spiritual eyes to be able to discern between good and evil. And how do you do that? Through meditation of the word, getting the word in you, allowing the scriptures to play so you can see what you can't see. Words are spiritual. That's why I usually say the words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. You can't see the words that are coming out of my mouth now. Like spiritual things are things you can't measure, but they impact you and you feel them because they impact you in a realm that you can't see or touch in this natural realm. You cannot see the words that are coming out of my mouth, but when they penetrate you, I can say some stuff to evoke an emotion out of you. It hits you. I can speak on something and get you angry. But wait a minute, you can't feel it. You can't see it when it hits you, but it hits your spirit and evokes something out of your soulish realm. I can make you cry. I can make you laugh. I can control your emotional state by something that you can't measure in the natural, but it affects your body. It's invisible, but it has a visible manifestation when it rests upon you. But now I have to train, just like in the natural, the way that I have a consciousness of the natural is through what I can see, what I can hear, what I can smell, what I can taste, and what I can touch. That give me a natural world consciousness. My soulish realm have a consciousness also too, based on what I have seen. In that soulish realm, you make decisions off what you have seen and what you have interpreted by what you have seen, what you have heard. that can strike fears in you. What you have tasted of. Some of us tasted of love too early and it destroyed us. Now, the taste of love outside the boundary of marriage have put a bad taste in our mouth concerning relationships. That divorce then put a bad taste in your mouth concerning men, concerning women, concerning submission, concerning giving to each other. Because you tasted of something that was bitter to you because you did it outside of the boundaries of Yahuwah. Now your soul rules you based off fear. Some of us have touched the wrong thing. Touching things in your soulish realm is your experience. So your spiritual senses have to be elevated. That's stronger than the natural world and stronger than your soulish realm. That everything is controlled by the control center of you, which is your spirit. When you walk in a room, when you walk in a place, in a building, when you walk into assembly, can you spiritually see what's there? Can you sense it? Do you got eyes to see? Have you developed your senses to look past a person's smile and see what can be plaguing them? That takes activation of the eyes. Can you hear beyond what people are saying, to hear what their heart is saying? Because now you have trained your ear how to hear with the goal of healing. If your goal is healing and delivering somebody, you have to train your ear to hear beyond what they're saying. The same thing with spiritual smell. What aroma are you giving off about yourself based on what you've been through? What type of people are you drawing to yourself? If you keep drawing nasty people, if you keep drawing people that love the gossip, people that don't like submission to authority, you are carrying that aroma and people are drawn to that scent in you. Garbage will beget garbage. And there's a scent that comes from garbage that draws vultures, stray cats, stray animals, possums, raccoons, scavengers. It's drawn to a certain scent. Are you giving off that scent that's drawn to you that you don't realize is spiritual? So these things are developed through activation of your spiritual senses through intention. I'm intentionally going to see with my spiritual eyes. I'm intentionally going to service to hear what the Ruach is saying spiritually. I'm starting in prayer in my home, training my ear through playing the word of Yahuwah, learning how he speaks to me, allowing the word to play even while I'm asleep, that my spiritual senses never go to sleep, and they are developed through exercising of hearing the word. My spiritual eyes are strengthened. My spiritual ears are strengthened. I will be able to smell the aroma of when the Malachim come and rest. I'll be able to sense it through my perception. I know when they come. I feel their presence. I feel their wings, because why? I have developed my being to connect so much in the spirit realm that I can feel when they're in the room. My body, my spiritual garment feels them in a way that I can't naturally explain it. I can perceive that they're there. I open up the spirit and my ear to the spirit realm to hear what they're telling me to do. They hear what the Ruach is telling me to do. So your spiritual senses must be exercised. Let's keep going. Now, it's important. It's very important to know how to discern between self-consciousness and spiritual consciousness. Because you can get it mixed up and you think you're using spiritual discernment, and it's not that. You're doing everything based off what you've been through, because you have more of a consciousness of self than a consciousness of Ruach to Yahusha. And the more you've been through, the easier it is to fall into self-consciousness, thinking it's spiritual discernment. Why? Because your soul has been designed. Number one, your soul is yours. It's yours to protect and control through your spirit. That's why it says the spirit is the candle of man. Where Yahuwah desires to meet you in your spirit and control your being. Your soul has been given to you to manage. That's why inner management, inner control, inner shalom is greater than anything outside of you that you can manage. But your soul is not you. Your soul was given to you in order for you to be able to manage it, because it has been given to produce for you. Your mind has been given to produce for you. Your mind is how things go from the spirit realm that manifest in the natural. It's a garden that produces fruit, that establishes things in the natural realm. But if you allow it to control you, then it'll establish death in you and around you. Because the craziest thing that you can allow to control you is your mind, based off your history and your emotions. Because your emotions, always realize your emotions are unstable. One day you feel like a nut, the next day you don't. One day you hate somebody, the next day you love them. One day you mad at your husband and your wife, and you think about divorce, the next day, I want to stay with them. I was just mad at the time. They unstable. You can't live like that. But the emotions been given to you that you may feel and that you may receive from the natural realm and the spirit realm, that creates memories. Now, when it comes to your soul, that's why the scripture said, I wish above all that you prosper, even as your soul that has been given to you to prosper. All right. Now, it's a thin line though. And I'll show you the difference real quick between spiritual consciousness and self-consciousness. You got to get to the point where your mind don't tell you what to do. You tell your mind what to do, because it has been given to you to produce for you. My hand just don't get to do what it want to do. Just get the dangling. Why? Because I control it. minds don't get to just rolling and going everywhere. Why? Because I control it. Why do we allow our mind to think all sorts of things without controlling our thoughts and taking these thoughts into captivity and telling our mind, you work for me, I don't work for you? Telling my emotions, no, we're not doing that because we upset. Yeah, I feel that. I know that shouldn't have been done, but no, because your soul, listen, your soul was giving, your soul above all tries to protect you through fear. When your soul receives pain, it creates a memory of the pain to get you to make a decision to move away from the pain so the pain won't happen to you no more. But that is control based on fear. And it's trying to protect you. But your soul was never given to you to protect you. It was given to you for production through the spirit. But if your spirit is shut down, then now the soul stands up and tries to be your protector. This is why you can remember the most traumatic experiences in your life and you create conclusions to make sure that don't happen again. Why? Because that's your soul, the heart of man, your soul trying to protect you. And now most of your decisions is based off your fears of pain so it won't happen to you again. But that's outside of the spirit consciousness. That's outside of being ruled by your spirit. So this is why it's important, because you'll think self-consciousness is spiritual consciousness. And let me show you the thin line. You know it's self when you are motivated by a selfish reward. It's spirit when you're motivated, your end goal is Yahuwah. So if I'm thinking about a reward for myself, I know that's self-motivated. This is the difference between discernment and suspicion. Suspicion is developed in the soulish realm. Why? Because suspicion is trying to foresee the problem and say, you just like the other one, so I suspect. I'm suspicious of you because I done been here before. You did something similar a little bit, so now I'm finna boop, 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 boop. I'm gonna calculate this is you. And then we'll stand back and make us think that's Yahuwah showing us. No, that's self. That's your hurt. That's your pain. That's what you've been through. That's the dagger that you pulled out of you. And now that's suspicion and not discernment. Because discernment comes when there's nothing that you can relate it to. The Ruach just showed you something that can't be seen by the natural eye. That's not an action. You knew nothing about the problem. You knew nothing about the situation. You had no prior information, and Yahuwah gave you discernment to be able to speak to the heart of something. One is true light, the other is a false light. It's the difference between faith and fear. The spirit is developed through faith. Your soul is developed through fear. Some of our motivations for dealing with people and not dealing with people is fear. Some of our motivations in our relationships is fear. What's driving you? Some of it's fear of not being accepted. The crazy thing is to submit to a ministry because of fear of rejection rather than having faith in Yahuwah. And Yahuwah gonna check that motivation. It's the difference between order and manipulation. You would take something that's coming down in your assembly as Manipulation rather than order. Why? Because you're perceiving it through self-consciousness rather than the spirit. Now to the impure, all things are impure. Everything is defiled. You're always looking at it as something behind that. And you'd be like, Yahuwah is showing me this. He's showing me this. He's showing me this. They're trying to manipulate. Da 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 da. No, that's your soulish realm, which is you, which you are the allure of your soul. That's the problem. You ruling yourself. You worship yourself. You trust nobody but yourself. You don't trust Yahuwah. You don't worship Yahuwah. You worship yourself, and yourself motivates you to do or not to do. It's the difference between truth and deception. Deception is not a full lie. Deception has enough truth in it to give you enough life to keep you dead. I'm going to say that again. Deception has enough truth in it to give you life in order to keep you dead. They both are lights. Truth is the pure light. Deception is a light too. This is why Yahushua said, make sure that the light that's in you be not darkness. What? So you telling me a light can be darkness? Yeah, the thing that's leading you, the thing that has been revealed to you that you're walking in based off your soulish realm can be light to you. And really it's darkness. This is to show us what we was in before. When we was in these Christian churches, we was in all of this stuff. There was enough light to keep us in there. We had some experiences. We had some things, that happened that showed us stuff. But it was enough light to give us life to keep us dead. Because it didn't bring us to the full acknowledgement of the truth, where Yahuwah can bring us into covenant and expose the deception of the lie. That we can put that light out in our life. All right, let's move. Are we helping you? Let's move. I'm a go probably to 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go probably to 11 o'clock, and then I'm gonna end off. Okay. Numbers 12 and 6. Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. Visions, dream, and trances, which is out-of-body experiences. Trances through an open heaven. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. Numbers chapter 12, verse 6. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, Yahuwah, will make myself known to him in a vision. And will speak unto him in a dream. But not my servant Moshe, it is not so with him, faithful in my house, because I will speak to him mouth to mouth, even apparently not in dark speeches, and in the similitude of Yahuwah shall he behold. So now, what is the three ways that Yahuwah would speak to? A vision, a dream, or he will appear, well, let me say Yahusha, through the Ruach. Yahuwah ain't coming down to see nobody. Yahuwah come down, you dead. Because Yahushua has been touched with our infirmities, and he's our kinsman redeemer, it's through through the Ruach that we are able to see and have experiences of Yahushua. But now, he says, I'm going to make myself known to this prophet through a vision or through a dream, or I'm going to appear mouth to mouth. Now, if you're not having visions and him developing in dreams, or your spiritual senses is not activated, how do you hear Yahuwah? How does he speak to you as an individual? Now, you can't hear him at first without a preacher or a teacher. They have to speak. They have to develop you. They have to be the ones that Yahuwah has speaking to you, so you can develop in that area. So you can learn how to hear him, so you can learn how to see him. But if you haven't built a relationship with him through your spirit, then how does he talk to you? That means that the only way he speaks to you is through the leadership, which is good. But if you're controlled by your soul, that's going to be a conflict. And you're going to have a conflict with leadership. You're going to have a conflict with orders. Because you don't know how to hear them yourself. To confirm what leadership is saying when Yahuwah speaks to you, to confirm it, you have to allow an experience to confirm it. And this is why so many people be up and down, in and out, because they don't know how to hear Yahuwah themselves. That will confirm what the leadership is already saying. This the type of people when there's orders that come down. I don't know about that. You sure we supposed to be doing that? I don't know if I believe that. Why? Because they're controlled through the worship of themselves. But a vision, dream, mouth to mouth experience. Yahuwah don't have to show up in bodily form to speak to you mouth to mouth. You'll hear his words audibly. Or he'll show up in a vision. He'll show up in a vision to speak to you mouth to mouth. But we have to understand visions. We have to understand dreams. We have to understand these things so in this last day we'll be able to rightly interpret what he has given us. Because the enemy comes to you in a dream also too. And he tries to create his own vision. His vision, because the prophets, Yahuwah would influence the prophets, right? He would speak to the prophets and show them inward pictures or visions or dreams or different things that they can see that would influence their actions, that influence their messages. It went from the inside out. Why? Because the kingdom of Yahuwah is what? Within. If I'm looking for the kingdom, I'm not looking outside myself. I'm looking within because there's a kingdom in my spirit that Yahuwah meets with me at. As a treasure in me, earthen vessel. Yahusha in me, the hope of glory. So I look within to find him because he lives in this vessel. It's a galaxy where within, it's a world where within. But the enemy, Hasatan, looks without. What? He cannot give you that eternal picture unless it's an experience that's ruled through fear that he can allow that movie to play through your mind and influence you that way. But how does he get in? His mechanism now is television. He can tell you a vision, let you see something through movies, through TVs to influence your soul, through entertainment, which is detainment, so a seed can enter you. But it's to influence your soul to get his message in your genetic code. And this is why you got 200 and some channels that's after your soul. The internet after your soul. To give you a vision to influence your actions. Because he's an imitator. All right, let's go. Understanding dreams. Let's deal with dreams first. Now, what is the three ways that he speak to us through? He said, I'm going to raise up a prophet. I speak to him through a vision, a dream, or mouth to mouth. Right? Notice even in the ministry of rebirth that the two leaders, he speaks to us in different ways. Me, Yahuwah normally speaks to me in a vision. Chief Yahuwah speak to him in a dream, and man, that joker get a dream and the whole galaxy will open up. Man, I'm talking about it's crazy how that works. Like he'd be sleeping, he'd be in a dream, you would just download. He'll wake up, and man, he have a message for the next 3 or certain centuries. That's how in depth and rich and revelatory knowledge it be. But if you look at this scripture, you can understand that this is how he deals with both of us. All right, let's look at this. Dreams. Dreams are closely associated with visions. The primary difference of dreams occur during the hours of sleep, when you're sleeping. While visions usually take place while one is fully awake or conscious, both visionary revelations in which we experience Yahuwah. One is when we're asleep, or we're in between those realms of sleep and being awake, where we're in experience Yahuwah or Yahusha in that realm. Right? The other is when you're awake. A dream is a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and experiences that usually occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. When dealing with the visionary prophetic realm, we must learn to take our interpretation first from scripture, then our lives. So any dream or experience you have, you ought to be able to go in the scripture to validate it, to make it foolproof, so you can discern what's coming from the demonic realm, what's coming from my self-experiences, and what's coming from an experience of Yahusha, so I don't mix it up and do a blasphemous thing. And say a dream that came from the demonic realm is a dream of that Yahusha, or a dream of a Malachim. So I won't be deceived. But let me show you how you can't be deceived, because it's spoken on how the elect won't be deceived. You cannot be deceived by falling ruachs in your dreams or in your vision if you're walking in righteousness continually and your heart is honest before Yahuwah. He sent malaks to protect the elect regarding these things, so there's always a barrier so they can't be deceived. So you know when an experience that you might not be used to came from Yahuwah. I can't be deceived. The truth cannot be deceived by deception or a lie when you're in truth. Truth in the inward parts, in your heart. Truth about your motivations, about the things that you're doing. Let's keep going. Now, let me say this. Whenever you have a dream, you need to understand there's a question that you should ask after every dream. There's a question you should ask after every dream. Some dreams that come from you, it'll stick with you. Some you'll forget. This is why you need to have a pen and a paper by your bed, or either some type of recording where you can just get up, time you wake up, you can record the dream. Because we want to value what Yahuwah is sending us and giving us. Never trust your memory. Never trust that. Understanding the question of every dream. The number one question that you need to ask, who is this dream for? I need to know the target of the dream. Even though you might have had it, it might not be for you. So these are the questions of the target of the dream. Number one, is this dream for me? Is it for me? Is it something dealing with me personally? Is Yahuwah trying to give me a personal word? Is he trying to correct me about something? Is he trying to correct me? Is he trying to instruct me? Is he trying to confirm something that he wants me to do? Is he trying to lead me in a certain direction? Is he trying to rebuke me? Is he trying to edify me? Is he trying to warn me? Number one, is this dream for me? Number two, if I'm connected to a ministry, rebirth, is this dream for my specific assembly or rebirth of a nation as a whole? Number three, is this dream for the nation of Israel? That means every awakened Hebrew, Israelite. And number four, is this dream for the world? Because sometimes it give you dreams about coming calamities that's going to hit the earth. I'm going to say that again. Who is this? The target of the dream is to be the number one question that you wake up with. Is this dream for me? I have to first internalize to see if it's for me. Number two, is this dream for my tribe or the whole rebirth of a nation? Because sometimes he'll give you certain things for other tribes in the nation of rebirth. Is this dream for the nation of Israel overall? Or is this dream for something coming in the earth, in the world? All right, so now how do I decipher that? I have to go into the representation of the dream now. Now, number one, what am I representing in the dream? Because sometimes we can get dreams that makes us condemn ourselves, right? And I'll give you an example where you don't walk around in condemnation. I had a dream that I committed adultery on my wife. And y'all, I woke up because it was so real. I woke up in a panic. Because I in the dream, after I did it, I knew my whole ministry was over. I knew everything was done in the dream. I was like, man, I done let everybody down. I let my wife down. I let my children down. I let my ministry down. I let Chief Yahusha down. I mean, in the dream, I was wilding. And when I woke up, I was... So then I had to look and say, okay, who is this dream for? What, number one, do I got lust problems? Is adultery stemming around me? And I had to look at that and be honest with that and say no, because it wasn't. Ain't none of that lingering. So I know I couldn't condemn myself because none of that was lingering. That ain't even in my soul to even have a desire for that, right? So then the next thing I had to say, I said, what did I represent then? What or who do I represent? What did the woman represent in the dream? Or the other people? If there's a being in my dream, what did the being represent? Because sometimes there can be beings that shapeshift themselves into a woman, and it's actually a demon, a warlock, a principality that's trying to create covenant. But come to find out that I represented a leader or a person in the dream that was entertaining that. And Yahuwah would deal and be like, he said, this is what's going on. Because it came out later and I was like, oh, wow, Yahuwah. And then he built a pattern of dealing with me like that. If I have a dream with something like that in it, I know that is going on somewhere in the nation. I hate that deals with me like that because that thing like threw me at first. But again, what do you represent? You can have a dream based off people positions. Like we talk about sons and daughters in a house, right? You could have a dream of a son in a house doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. And you know particularly who it is in your assembly. Right? I had somebody come to me about a dream that they had about one of the sons of the house. Now, this son of the house, man, been on it, following along, fully submitted, doing everything we need him to do. No ups and downs, none of that. So when they came to me with the dream, I was like, I don't think that was about this son, but he represented a son. And that son could have been in other assemblies, and that came out in other assemblies. So sonship was represented through one of the sons that was in the house to let you know that there's a wayward son. But it wasn't the one that showed up. So you got to ask yourself, what does that I represent, the people in the dream represent, a being represent? Because now this is giving me something that I can war against. All right, so after yourself or the being, then you go into the names. A lot of us have Hebrew names, right? If you have somebody in the tribe or somebody show up in your tribe, even if it's an old acquaintance, something show up, look the name of what that means, because there can be a message in the name. What does my name? I had to look at what does Moshe represent, the meaning of it. Even if I'm doing the word alphabet analysis to even get the meaning, pull the meaning out. What do the name of the other people that was in the dream represent? This can be a good dream, bad dream, whatever it is. What does the people name represent in the dream? Because I'm trying to get the full, because Yahuwah, he'll give you messages to unfold. Yahuwah will conceal a matter, but it's a king's honor to search it out. Because he is in every detail of it. And he likes you to unfold to get to an answer, because the more you unfold, the more of him you receive in your search. The actions in the dream. What does the actions represent? What was my feeling in the dream? What emotions did I have? What emotions did the people have? Also, how did I awaken from the dream? Was I in a panic? Did I feel eeriness? Was I confused? All of that is a message. Was I happy? Did I feel shalom? I want every inch in detail of the message Yahuwah is sending to me. Because he said he'll speak to me through a vision, through a dream, or mouth to mouth. So we got that. Whoever it is, Reuven, Malak, y'all, I don't know what he talking about. This ain't got nothing to do with what we speaking here. So y'all go ahead and shut that down. We ain't talking about none of that. Get on off we talking about visions and dreams, man. So y'all gonna jump on that, moderators. Now, symbolism in the dream. Symbolism in the dreams. You have to pay attention to that. Symbolic actions. Eating. Receiving something. Sexual. Fighting. Extension of hands. You need to understand what is happening. If you're eating in a dream or some being is handing you a plate or some familiar person that's not in the wild with evil intention, they're handing you something to eat, that's a covenant that is trying to be made with you. If they're giving you something, if they're trying to have sex with you in the dream, if you did have the sex, you need to get up, rebuke it, denounce and renounce it, because they are illegal when they're coming and trying to do it that way. Why? Because you cannot create a covenant without consciousness. And the covenant be binding and stay binding unless you don't denounce or renounce it or cut the cord. Even when you have these experiences where there are paralysis that happens, where they come and try to hold you down and put their hand over your mouth and all of that. Number one, Yahuwah allows that for training purposes, to let you see how real the spirit realm is. Sometimes you can have things in the house that draw them, that draws them to it. That's why you have to watch a lot of these, you watch these pictures, watch these movies, watch these game consoles. A lot of stuff you have to be careful because you draw them in through that. But they will come in to try to hold you down. And the more you're afraid, the more they're fueled, because the demonic realm is fueled off fear and doubt. That's how you got to rebuke those things and learn how to confront it. Learn and play the word before you go to sleep, and allow the word to be playing, because they hate the word and they tremble at the word. Pray for the Malachims to surround your house and be in your house for protection. And then you fight against it, that if they do, oh, bro, it's going to be on. You ain't going to want to come here no more, because I'm finna eat you alive. And I'm going to send every malak at you. I'm going to hit you with that word. I'm going to hit that target. I'm going to be coming at you. That when you come and mess with me, you're going to get your head busted. It's going to be a fight. And they won't show up like that, because now your faith then overcame the fear, and they can't operate with a person full of faith. But those are incubus, succubus, mare spirits that come at night. to ride you. That's where we get the term nightmare, where spirits come and ride you and become try to rest upon you and try to see if you will allow your defenses to fall so they can begin to build relationship with you to become a spirit spouse. And if you start giving in to them resting upon you, that's why it's like a rape, where they'll come and listen, I can only go off what I've seen. When somebody is raping you, what do? They cover your mouth and they try to pin you down so you can't move till you give in and allow them to penetrate you. This is the same thing that they're doing in order to see, can they build that kind of covenant with you where they can come visit you at night and begin to have sex with you. Because they desire to put a seed in you or take your seed. We got to realize how connected the spirit realm is to the natural and soulish realm. And this is why some people have had experiences where demons come and have sex with them. Why they don't need no man or woman. Why they can be single for 30 and 50 years, but can't walk right, but you single. I don't believe it. I don't believe you got no Shaul or Ruach. Majority of us ain't no way. You need some. Yeah, you do. And you gonna get it. One way or the other. And some of them are getting it from spirits. And this is why when they try to get in a natural relationship, it never works, because these spirits are highly prideful spirits. And when they feel like they own you, you are theirs. And they gonna make sure that they know. When you can look in the Apocrypha and see that. I can't remember what story it was. Where this woman, every time anytime that she would try to marry a man, the demon would kill him. I cannot remember, man. Good gracious. My mind and Rafai Yahoo. Tobit, that's right. Tobit. Thank you. So now that's real. But what they're trying to do to get your defenses down so they can penetrate you and show you how real they are. Not only that, they're trying to put a seed in your seed or take your seed. Why do you think you have wet dreams? Especially when men then ejaculated. How can you be asleep without touching your member at all and ejaculate? In the natural, there has to be a touching. But you mean something can happen when I'm asleep? Yes, because it's more real than the natural. And notice, they left the semen there, but they took the ruach out the semen to create spiritual children. See, you can try to protect yourself in the natural all day long with condoms and all of that, so you won't release in a woman, but you release not only liquids, but you release spirit. This is why a man's spirit, when it connects with a woman's spirit, there's a baby formed. The spirit had to come from somewhere. And the spirit has the information for the genetic code. This is why you have to denounce and renounce spirit children. because they would be tied to your DNA and try to show up to torment your natural children or make you not be able to have children. All right, that's one thing. Let's keep going. But them actions, man, you got to understand them actions of what's going on. Like I taught about a lot of this yesterday, and I'm gonna put, like I said, some more of this out. Let's keep going. Symbolic colors. What does the colors represent? What does white represent? How do I know? I go in the scripture. I go look at what white represents: purity, righteousness, redeemed. What black represents: judgment, the host of Yahuwah. Also, death because of judgment. Balancing of scales. Scarlet, blood, atonement. Red can be judgment also too. Or war. Purple, royalty. Blue, green. All these type of things mean things, right? So if there's colors, I got to know what I was wearing in the dream, what other people were wearing. What is Yahuwah saying about those colors? Because Yahuwah is in the details. His message is in the details. What are the creatures? Because some of the creatures, you can look up what the principalities are. What's coming against you. Now, I would say, listen to me. I would say this now. Listen. If you do have a dream with a principality or a demon or something in there, you need to bring that to your leadership. But don't go research it yourself, because you might end up getting snared. Let the leaders help with that and be able to research that for you, so we can see what it is that we might be fighting or coming against, or what's trying to come against us. Don't get out there, because you'll get messed around and go in there and read all kind of books and all that. And I'm telling you, you might be talking about you reading a book, but the spirit of the book is in the words. The words that's on the paper ain't just words, they spirit. And the intention of the author is the foundation of the book, is the seed. So you talking about I'm reading it for study purposes, but no, I'm getting the attention of the author and putting it in my spirit. Because that's his spirit. All right, we talking about symbolic creatures, symbolic direction. Am I ascending? Am I falling in the dream? Going up can be in an ascension. Falling can be you going down, right? Going left could be sin. Going right can be path to righteousness. It just depends. What is going on? What am I doing in the dream? What is happening in the dream? When the scripture talks about I'm seated with him in heavenly places, right? In heavenly places, when you look at heavenly places, that is in a resurrection. I have been resurrected with Yahushua. And now I'm seated I have rulership with him. So what am I doing in the dream? Symbolic direction. Symbolic names. The name of people in the dream. What does the name reveal about the character, the authority, the dominion, right? Symbolic numbers. If I'm saying numbers, in the dream. I need to know what the numbers are. Biblically, I can do a word analysis and take the numbers that's tied to each word of the Hebraic alphabet, put those numbers together, and get the message, the details, what Yahuwah is trying to say. Or I can look in the scriptures and see and tie the numbers together. Sometimes you can look at the doggone number page. I had times where I go and just like I couldn't find it on none of that other stuff, and you would say, it says, "Hey, go in the scriptures and go to this number page, and you're gonna find what I'm trying to tell you." Page can be page number 1010, 1128, and I go to that page and read that chapter, and boom, that's what he's trying to show me. Symbolic objects in the dream. Rock. Yahuwah said, upon this rock I'm going to build my assembly, right? A sword, a rod, daggers. What does that mean? I had a dream where me and Yahusha had a sword coming out of a sheath. He was a sword coming out, a giant sword coming down in his. I think that was a vision, coming down in his sheath, and he was his size, but that sword was giant. And then I had in the same vision, I had a giant rod coming down out of the sky in my hand. And some things happened in the dream. Ain't gonna go into all of it. And then we rose up to be as tall as the sword and tall as the rod. So what did I have to do? I had to look at every aspect of that dream to see what it meant. Symbolic elements. Yahuwah is in the details. Yahusha is in the details. If there's wind in my dream or vision, if there's earth, fire, water, incense, all of these things. Am I going too fast? I forgot y'all can't see this. But y'all can go back. Y'all can go back and look at it. It's gonna stay up. Who that is? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being a nosy neighbor. I felt like an old woman right there, man. What's happening to me, man? I felt like an old woman. Somebody says a little. Okay, just go back and rewatch it, and you can pause the tape and all of that. You can pause the tape. Now, I said all that, but listen, this is wisdom concerning dreams. This is wisdom concerning dreams. Dreams can be exciting and wonderful as the means of receiving insight and revelation. Listen, as long as they come from Yahuwah. Remember that dreams and visions can arise from three places. I'm going to say that again. Dreams and visions can arise from three places. The demonic realm, well, I'm going to say dreams more, but the demonic realm, the soulish realm, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Know that. In order to be effective, either giving or receiving visionary revelation, we must be able to distinguish the source. Distinguish the source of the dream. Let's go to Sirach 34. I want to always keep this in mind. I know we're talking about dreams, but sometimes dreams are nothing. Don't spend your whole life on a dream. Now I know I laid all that out, but listen, don't let dream be the totality of your direction when it comes to if that ain't how Yahuwah deals with you. Some of us got that gift with that, but that ain't how he normally did that. Man, I done seen people be condemned 3 to 4 months off a dream, y'all. They did nothing in the natural, but off a dream and stopped their progress. So remember this. Sirach 34. A man of no understanding has vain and false hopes. Sirach 34 verse 1. A man of no understanding has vain and false hopes, and dreams give wings to fools. As one who catches as a shadow and pursues the wind, so is he who gives heed to dreams. The vision of dreams is this against that, the likeness of a face confronting a face. From an unclean thing that would be made clean, and from something false that what would be made true. Divination and omens and dreams are folly, and like a woman in travail, mind has fancies. Unless they are sent from the Most High as a visitation, don't give mind to them. For dreams have deceived many, and those who put their hope in them have failed. Without such deceptions, the law would be fulfilled and wisdom made perfect in truthful lips. If they didn't come from the Most High, you rebuke them and move on. Renounce and denounce and move on. You are not your dreams. Oh, shalom, shalom, Moray. Yashar in the house with us, man. He says, right, sometimes dreams can be a sum of the things that happen that day. Now, that's real. It's real. And listen, you better, sometimes you can spur a dream by what you eat. That's why you don't need to be eating too heavy before you go to sleep. Because you'll wake up with something crazy. Oh, crazy, like you flying and all type of crazy dreams like that. You know what I'm saying? Or watch something right before you go to sleep, because that can put a seed in your head. But listen, don't be moved by every dream. All right, I'll wrap up in a little bit, right? That's the dream point. Like, let's go a little bit into visions. Visions in open heavens, trances in Yahusha. I'm sorry. A vision can be like a mental snap. Now we talking about. We first gonna talk about a picture. When you are just kind of just showing you something. It's not like a movie playing out or in the open heaven where you see an experience or out of body experience. But a lot of times he will start with a snapshot in terms of how instant a camera works. The shutter opens, allowing light to enter through the lens, imprinting on the film the image that is in front of the lens. The film develops instantly so the image can be viewed and analyzed. In a vision, light from Yahusha enters the lens of our spiritual eyes and imprints an image of the film on our heart and on our mind. As the image develops, we gain a better understanding of what it means. Most visions are internal in nature, and an image is ingrained in our memory, and we can take it out, look at it, study it at any time that we need. A lot of times, it's almost like, you know, them old pictures when you used to take a picture of it and you used to have to snap it like that, and then the picture and the image would start forming, and you can see it forming. That's how Yahuwah does in our spirit. But a lot of times when we want to go into visions, right, that be usually during the time of where you're meditating of your shalom. I mean, you're meditating, you're focusing on Yahuwah. That's after you done did, you know, you're singing to him, your worship to him, you're praying in the spirit. Is when you get quiet before him. He began to show you a picture, an image. And what you have to start realizing when you look within, he will begin to reveal something. It's almost like, it can be like when you first start, it can be like you at the end of a tunnel and you're focusing in. At the end, it's getting bigger and bigger. When you're seeing that happen, you have to focus intentionally your focus on this. It's like you're showing Yahuwah, show it to me. You have to go in now to look directly at what he's showing you, so the image can be made clear. Because now you're seeing through your Ruach eyes. And how do you begin to do this? It's through your imagination. Now, they have shown us and made us think imagination was something we play with, something that's little kiddish cartoon. No, this is how you see visions. But your imagination has to be, that part of your mind has to be dedicated to the Ruach, has to be cleansed through the Ruach. So the Ruach can use that to show you things. There has to be a dedication. There has to be a cleansing of my imagination so it can be used to connect me visibly to the spirit realm, to the eternal end, the eternal treasure, that I can focus my spiritual eye, my lens, to see what the spirit realm is saying, fueled by faith. Because faith is the hope, is the evidence of things hoped. No, faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of something that you can't see. So when I mean focusing in, that's in stirring my faith up to look attentively through what the Ruach is trying to show me after I have cleansed my imagination and dedicated for Yahuwah's work. That I have no self-motivation with this. It's only to see what's in your heart. Yahusha, show me through my spiritual eye, what's on your heart, that I may be a worker with you, that I may align my life to your purposes, that we may meet in that place, that I may see you to see what needs to be done. Your imagination needs to be cleansed. That's how you're going to get the imagery through what you imagine. Because we go into visions all the time and don't realize it. You can be about to take on this thing and do something, but your mind will give you an image of failure, and you will see yourself failing at it, and you won't move forward. Because you will imagine every possible bad thing that can happen. And you will see the movie plan. You will see the picture of the image. You just had a vision fueled by fear. But then say, I don't know why you won't use me. I don't know why you won't give me no vision. Well, sure, the man the dream, and you use it all the time, but you ain't dedicated yours to yours. You don't know how to, ain't no way you can go into visions. You don't know how to silence your thinking. You don't know how to take control of your thoughts during prayer. You don't know how to focus your attention. This world of technology then got us so used to being distracted. We can wake up and be studying, wake up and doing this, and we on that phone. And that phone just distracting us. You're looking at something for a moment, then something else will pop up. You watch a video on that, and then something else will pop up. It's teaching you how to be a person of distraction. That way you can be in assembly and be listening at the message. Time somebody move, you looking. And then it threw your attention out. Now your mind on all kind of stuff, and it take you 30 minutes to get back to the lesson. And then the leader has to say, a week, you come to them with a problem and be like, I taught on that. When? I don't remember that. Why? Because you was not paying attention. Why? Because you have mastered how to be distracted. Let's keep going. I'll spend too much time on that. Another way to understand how visions happen is to think of yourself as a house or a temple of Yahusha, as the scripture declares. That we are the temple. And it's like Yahusha is in us. Just say, now take my body, look at my eyes. And we're saying that Yahusha is in us. Right? Now, another way to understand visions is Yahushua standing up in you, taking your eyes and shooting his light throughout your eyes to show you a vision. And now you can, through the eyes that the windows of your eyes that he's looking out of, you're able to see what he's showing you now. In your spirit. Because he shined light out of your window, which is, they say the eyes are the window of the soul. But he stood up in you and shined light throughout of your eyes. Now you looking at what he's showing you. Let's keep going. Spiritual perception and visions. This is something you need to read, that you need to read and you need to declare. And you need to put this in your spirit every day. Because it's going to help you in those areas. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 17. And Yahuwah of our Adonai, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Father of Kabod, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him, that the eyes of your understanding be enlightened. You're praying, Yahuwah, enlighten the eyes of my understanding, which is my perception, how I perceive things, how I see, how I understand, my imagery, my imagination, my perception. I'm praying that it be enlightened. What's going to happen when it gets enlightened? That I may know what is the hope of your calling. Because he's going to give it to you in vision form, in dream form. And what is the richness of the glory of the inheritance of the saints? Do you not know it's your inheritance to fellowship and commune with the Ruach HaKodesh? Because you can't commune directly with Yahushua. You can't commune directly with Yahuwah. Yahushua said it's expedient that I leave, that I may send my spirit. Yahushua going to send his spirit. And his spirit going to lead and guide you into all truth. That I may know what the hope of his calling, the riches of his inheritance and the saints, and what's the exceeding greatness of his power to us that believe, according to this working of his power. So when my understanding be enlightened, I'll know what the hope of my calling is. And that's going to come through visions, through audible words, through mouth to mouth, through dreams. I'm going to know what my inheritance is, the richness of it, and the exceeding greatness of his power. This is the purpose and the point of giving these visions. But you have to learn how to focus your attention, how to focus your mind free from distractions, because you'll be in a vision and get distracted by a thought. And you'll say, I can't even deal with this joker. He can't sit still enough for me to speak to him. He can't focus enough. To hear me. And this is why a lot of times I even get on my back and lay down. Not on the bed, because you lay down on that bed, you're going to sleep. But Yahuwah told me to do this one day in prayer, to lay down on my back. He said, I'm going to show you something. I closed my eyes and I've been beginning to focus on him and focus on seeing him in my imagination, seeing Yahuwah. And sometimes you have to take a word. Psalms 23, Yahuwah is my shepherd, I shall not want. And I'm laying down, seeing him as my shepherd. Ezekiel 37, allowing Ezekiel 37 to play, and I'm seeing this. I'm seeing us as those dry bones awaken. I'm stirring my ability for visions to form. I'm seeing Psalms 91. Because I dwell in the secret place of the Most High, I shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I'm seeing it. Why? Because I'm stirring up my ability to see through the word. Because the word, which is spirit, opens up this Ruach HaKodesh, which is the spirit realm, to show me visions of Yahuwah. But you have to learn how to master focus. The biblical times, they was not distracted like we distract. We got everything to distract us. Spiritual perceptions. Spiritual perceptions may or may not involve literal seeing. Perception is not limited to visual. Spiritual perception is the realm of the knowing or impressions. In this type of vision, a person may see something in the spirit, but his mind sees no image. The Ruach often reveals things to us by an unction or a word or a hunch or a prompting or a gut feeling or a nudge. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times, even when you're functioning in this, you're not going to always see an image. Say if you're in a service, you're praying for somebody, you might have a strong unction for something, or you sensing something, you sensing it in the Ruach that is there, that this is happening. Or you can be in the store and there's a prompting to say something. It's a prompting to do something. And you're not realizing that that person could have possibly want to experience the Most High. They could have had, well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because I ain't got but 7 minutes. I got to hurry up. Screen action and vision. This is a vision where Yahuwah may show you, he might show you something happening, right? Sometimes people have visions of a car accident before it happens. People can have a vision of somebody coming and praying for them and they got healed. People can have a vision of somebody with an incurable disease, somebody coming laying hands on them, right? Somebody doing something. So this is why when you feel an impression, you feel a prompting, you feeling something when you're in a certain place, you have to do it, right? Case in point, Acts 9, verse 10. In Damascus, there was a disciple named Ananias. Yahuwah called him in a vision. Ananias. Yahuwah said, Ananias said, yes, Yahuwah. Yahuwah told him, go to the house of Judas on Straight Street and ask for a man of Tarsus named Saul. For he is praying. In a vision, he has seen a man named Ananias and come and place his hands on him to restore his sight, right? That's when Yahuwah took his sight. Now, what if Ananias was too afraid? Because in this scripture, you'll see that he was afraid he ain't want to go. But what if he allowed fear to keep him there? Then it's a level of Yahuwah that Shaul would have never experienced, right? Yahuwah could have been dealing with an Israelite trying to wake him up or trying to restore him. You at a store, you at an event, you at a place, and Yahuwah might just tell you to go to the person and say shalom. Or you might feel a strong impression about something, a strong impression about this, or the strong prompting. But if you allow fear to stop you, then you miss that person's opportunity to connect the dots. You'd be able to say, oh man, Yahuwah is real, because I had a vision. I had a thought of somebody coming with a red hat to say something like this to me. But you allow fear to stop you. You can get a glimpse shot of Shabbat, of high praise, or a glimpse shot of worship, and he's showing you pockets of what the Shamayim is doing. He's showing you pockets of what's going to be received. And then you have to go as a praise leader, as a worship leader, and create the pocket of what he's showing you. That's why Yeshua said, I don't do nothing unless I see my Father doing it or hear my Father saying it. Now you have to see in the spirit. And a lot of times, sometimes it can be right in the moment. You'll see something, glimpse. You got to create it. Because this is going to get the King of Kabod to reveal himself. All right, let me keep going. All right, sometimes you get audio revelatory messages. These are messages apart from individual pictures in the spirit realm. It can involve speaking words or objects making sounds, right? When we perceive messages inside us by our inner ears, or messages outside us by our physical ears, voices or sounds we can hear internally can indeed be the message from Yahusha. Messages that we hear beyond this natural realm is from a supernatural revelatory realm of Yahusha in which we must pay attention. So a lot of times you might hear a sound of a shofar, but there's no shofar blowing. You might hear the sound of lightning and thundering, but there's no lightning and thunder. It ain't even raining. You might hear the sound. I'll give you a case in point. We was in Pesach, and man, it was raining, but I heard storm. I heard all kind of stuff. And come to find out that wasn't going on. But then Yahuwah was showing me something ruachly, right? Or you can get revelatory words that'll speak to you that Yahuwah is saying. And there ain't no vision with it, but it's just a word that'll come across. I give you a case in point. There was a time in that I was even online, and I kept seeing the word molestation. I couldn't shake it. It just kept being there. And then when I revealed it, more than half the people on the live that they dealt with it and needed healing from it. So when you can't shake it, that word keep coming across. You hear a sound. You hear a door. I remember one. So these are the things that you have to pay attention to. All right. Keep going. I'm almost done. All right. So let me see how many more slides I got. Okay, I'm done. I got 2 more slides. Praise you for that. All right. So let's look at real quick trances or open heaven, and this is where Yahuwah takes you. This is where he takes you up. And in the vision, you're in the Shamayim. In the vision, you're seeing. In the vision, you have a Malachim that come talk to you face to face. In the vision, you have an eternal being, right? I got to say it in a certain way, that you talk face to face with, that comes, that shows you something, right? Where you experience the spirit realm. All right, Ezekiel 1, chapter 1. Now it came to pass that in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Shabbat, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of Yahuwah. Now this is one person as a captive by the river, and he goes into a vision, and the heavens opens up before him. And he goes into visions. Numbers 24:16. He hath said, which heard the words of Yahuwah, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. Acts 10:10. He became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance. That was Acts 10:10. Acts 11, verse 5. Again, you'll get this. Acts 11, verse 5. I was in the city of Joppa praying, and in a trance I saw a vision, a certain vessel descend, and it had been a great sheet and let down to heaven for 4 corners, and it came even to me, right? This is Peter, again, when he had the vision of the animals. Acts 22:17. And it came to pass that when I had come again to Jerusalem, even while I prayed in the temple, I fell into a trance, right? Let's look at what an open heaven and a trance is, right? We function in that more than what we think. All right, and I'm almost done. Oh, goodness, I went too fast. That was Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 1. That was Numbers 24, verse 16. That was Acts chapter 10, verse 10. Also Acts chapter 11, verse 5. Acts 22, verse 17. We got that? I'll read this and I'm almost done. An open heaven or a trance is more or less a stunned state where a person's body is overwhelmed by the Ruach of Yahuwah and his mind is arrested and subject to visions and revelations of Yahuwah. I'm going to say that again. An open heaven or a trance is more or less a stunned state where a person's body is overwhelmed by the Ruach of Yahuwah and his mind is arrested and subject to visions and revelations of Yahuwah. A supernatural state of being in which a person can experience an out-of-body experience and can visit the Shamaim and other places that's different from where their body is located. So this can form even with praying in the spirit. When you're praying in the spirit, right? You might in service, you see that happen a lot in our services. And there's a time that everybody praying, but then there's a time where Yahuwah has taken control over one person, and now their mind is subject to the Ruach, and nothing but Ruach is coming out. So that's prophetic words. If you go back and look at the Pesach video, you'll see Yiska, Morai Yiska. She fell. The heavens opened up to her, and Yahuwah's spirit overwhelmed her, took over her, and she was subject to visions and revelations of Yahuwah. She spoke from that. Same thing happened to me when Yahuwah used me, and a lot of times it even happened in our services, where even there's times where you might see us praising and we worshiping and we're going in, but then there's time where everybody get down on their knees, or there'll be times where they'll lay on their back and there's a djembe playing, or I would get on the keys and I just begin to play. And I call for the Malachines. What am I doing? I'm putting them in a state where the open heaven can release to them. And then they begin to have visions. The Malachim come walk among us, touch us, move us, impress upon us. Visions of Yahuwah. Well, we are overwhelmed by the Ruach of Yahuwah and subjects to visions and revelations of him. Now, I'm going to give y'all a few more scripture examples of this happening. You can read Ezekiel. Really, the whole book of Ezekiel, it'll show it to you, man. But we will, like, when you in a trance, nobody can come shake you out of that. You there. And your body is subject. Your spirit, your mind is taken. Then the Ruach is just giving you visions and revelations. You fall right into it. I hate to use the word fall, but you enter that realm. Ezekiel, let's go give you a few scriptures as examples of this. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 12 and 14. Well, I'm just going to give y'all the examples and I'll read a little bit of what it says. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 12 through 14. Write that down. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 1 through 3. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. Ezekiel 43, verse 5 and 6. I'm going to read it again. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 12 through 14. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 1 through 3. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 1 and 2. Ezekiel 43, verse 5 and 6. One more time. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 12 through 14. I'll just read the whole chapter. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 1 through 3. I'll read the whole chapter. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 1 and 2, or read the whole chapter. Ezekiel chapter 43, verse 5 and 6. And as you develop and grow, Yahuwah will be able to. A lot of my time now with Yahusha is just, it's like time I go down now, he just come and visit me and speak to me and either show me a vision or speaking to me audibly. I do a lot of the Ecclesiastes chapter 5 now in my personal time with him. But he just began to just speak and take me into visions. But I train my eyes and I train my imagination for a place for him to visit that's pure. But then that's part of my gifting also too. But I'm trying to show you things to stir up your gifting. All right, so now I'm just going to read a little bit of these scriptures and we'll be done. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 12 to 14, it says, the Ruach lifted me up. Ezekiel chapter 8, 1 to 3, he caught me by the lock of my head. The Spirit lifted me up between the heaven and the earth. Ezekiel 11, 1 to 2, the hand of Yahuwah was upon me, and he brought me out by Ruach and set me in the middle of a valley. Ezekiel, you can go to read all of Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 43, 5 through 6. You can even read Isaiah chapter 1, Jeremiah chapter 1, all the prophets. The Ruach lifted me up and brought me into the inner court. Revelations. Yehukanan, where the Malachim are saying, come up hither. Like all of these things are examples of being in a portal of Yahuwah that has opened up through the spirit realm. But your body could still be present here. Now, the world do things and they're going to pervert any aspect of something that Yahuwah has created. We have to remember that the fallen Malachim can only create or only pervert what has been created because they know nothing else. The only being that can create something out of nothing is Yahuwah. That's why everything that you have ever seen or they have ever shown you or there has ever been has been something that Yahuwah created that has been perverted. So they know how to reach Yahuwah. They know we have a dominion here. And dominion have been given to a man, which is a spirit that has a dirt body, that the spirit within, we have dominion in this realm. This is why Genesis chapter 1 and 26, it said when he created man, he gave man dominion, right? You go read Psalms, I think the chapter 8, that what is man that I'm mindful of him, that I come visited him, and that I put him over the works of my hand. We have dominion in this earth. But we know how to reach Yahuwah, right? But these beings want to be as the Most High. So they're going to teach principles and call it astral projection. They're going to teach principles on how to enter the spirit realm. It's not going to be based off righteousness. It's going to be based off their inquiry and worship to their false gods. So this is why, yes, they can enter into demonic realms that seem like they're light. And they can take principles and enter into those dark portals. This is the same thing that's happening on a mass level, even with CERN. They're trying to open up a portal, open up a realm to let these beings in that has been placed into darkness and chains until the day of their judgment. They trying to penetrate these things and uplift the judgment of Yahuwah. But what Yahuwah might do is allow them to do it so they can destroy themselves and then judge them. This is why from this, you can't be going and reading books about the world form of trances and opening up portals and eating certain things, certain ways, and positioning yourselves. There are prayer postures and prayer points, but the enemy has perverted everything that was pure. So you can't go and read these books in order to experience these things, because you're going to bring in the wrong type of spirit, and you're going to be led not by the Ruach HaKodesh, but you're going to be led by a demon of light. So what others are saying is true, but it's predicated upon the God that they is doing God. The God that they serve versus our Allure, Yahuwah, Yahusha, which have given us their spirit because they're one. to lead and guide us into all truth. That's right. Don't become a dalet. Don't become a door of entry where you're coming out of the bet to go into another door. All right, so I hope everybody, we went over a lot of this yesterday, but it was from a different perspective, according to the Eternal Excellency. And that is going to be for definitely the symbolism. But I will do this from time to time, that the things that I can have for public consumption that Yahuwah allows me to do that, I'll do that. And I knew I could take this portion and help develop you guys. Hope that this was helpful. Hope you learned something. Overall, we're going to get ready to bid y'all shalom. I can't open it up for questions because I know I will be on this thing forever if I do that. So I'm not going to be able to do that, but we're going to just say shalom to you, love you, and we will see you soon. Again, if you haven't went and got the Okoti Project album, go get that. If you haven't went and got also Meditations of the Heart from Zamar Yaron, go get that. Also, if you haven't got Mind of a Hebrew from Mikayahu, his album is out too. Real good music. Go get all of them on every major platform. But hope we helped you, and we will talk with you soon. Hallelujah. Shalom.